And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to Koi Place Tarot. My name is Koi. I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As we're going into the month of September, getting kind of chilly out, and there's something enjoyable about that, right? We're looking at your first and last. First and last is a style of read that I do where we look at beginnings and endings all at the same time, making sense because we move into new months gradually. In the top row, just like in the bottom row, you'll see it ordered in water, earth, fire, and air, cups, pentacles, earth, your home element, Taurus, wands by fire, and swords by air. In the top, we hold new opportunity, right? Either that's renewal or the things we want to invest ourselves into, things that come our way, right? It just represents the element of new. In the bottom, we have the tens, their counterpart, culminations, endings, ultimatums, etc., and ultimately some form of conclusion, right? So as we look at the first and last, the aces and the tens, we're trying to examine what's going on in Taurus's, basically in Taurus's sphere. As a preamble to my reads, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, it can be very hard to accept some of the stuff that comes up in a read. Trust me, as someone who does their own read every single day and also does this for every sign collective, trust me, I know, right? We're trying to be as fair and as honest as possible. I would never try to purposely lead any of the sign collective astray, but we want to sit and talk about the uncomfortable. That way, what did Mr. Rogers say? If it's mentionable, it's manageable, right? So follow along today. And yeah, Taurus, let's see what the cards say. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. First, in Taurus's first and last for the month of September, we look now to the Ace of Cups. What about emotional openings and beginnings? Oh, snapped, but it didn't land on the table. I like that. But again, it snapped. It did not land on the table, so I cannot take. That is a style of read. It's just my personal philosophy on how to do the cards. Every reader does it differently, by the way. So the cards I need to see, please, for Taurus in their read, or the cards you'd like for me to see for Taurus in their read today. On that Ace of Cups, the Emperor, card of Aries. Okay. So we're standing on a strong decision in regards to Three of Swords, heartbreak, pain, a level of remorse. How so? Wheel of Fortune. That things do and can change with time, as is the will of the universe. Opening right now, we're saying, actually, I'm going to embrace the pain that I have around an opportunity or a situation. My choice is not meaning that I'm trying to be miserable, right? That's not what the Taurus here is saying. What we are saying is that I find value in trying to understand the pain. It's not comfortable at all. But the choice that I am making, hey, eventually this too will come with time. Because again, like I said earlier in the preamble area, just like Mr. Rogers said, if it is mentionable, it is manageable. And so believing in the wheel of fortune that things can and will eventually change with time, whatever the situation applies to you, Taurus, we're looking at pain and we're trying to basically ram it with our horns. Right? We're trying to say, hey, I'm not backing down from this. If this is what it's got to be, then it is what it is. Okay, to the Ace of Pentacles. So towards the cards I need to see, please, upon that Ace of Pentacles in their read today. What is held up for the Ace of Pentacles in the read for Taurus? Oh, that's a break. Okay. Could have just been bad shuffling again. I'm not perfect. I try my best to be better, but I'm not perfect. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, upon the Ace of Pentacles for Taurus in the read. There we go. Now, if it breaks continuously, that is not me. But once in a while, yeah, that's kind of me. What about this Ace of Pentacles? The significance for Taurus right now in terms of new opportunity. Seven of Cups. Okay, the belief in many possibilities or many opportunities at your disposal. Devil, the card of Capricorn. Okay. Somebody's debating with themselves on whether or not they should pursue those possibilities, even though everything's at their fingertips. And the Five of Pentacles, a fear of being left behind. Okay. So fives are cards of conflict, and they represent either a conflict within or a basically emotional inequivalency across all the elements: water, earth, fire, and air. They mean something different depending on the type, obviously. Here, this Five of Pentacles coming out after that Devil, we see a lot of new opportunity that is had for us, and we're kind of afraid to take it because ultimately that means in our heart space or our decision making point, Taurus, is that we're looking at it as, okay, me acknowledging this, me moving forward with this means I would definitely and most certainly have to give up whatever I am fearing. And it's probably going back to this Ace of Cups collective over here, right? Saying, okay, pursuing this possibility, let's call a spade a spade. It is very much a possibility for me. Pursuing this possibility means I would be left behind. So what space am I coming from, right? Am I coming from a space of desperation where I'm only jumping at a new opportunity in order to get over whatever this was, this Three of Swords back here? Or am I genuinely pursuing it and finally providing myself closure? That is a Taurus I'm talking to. And the reason I'm saying that is because the fear of being left behind, or at least poverty and abandonment, and the notion of the Seven of Cups, all these possibilities being at our fingertips under the Ace of Pentacles, is coupled with the Devil sandwiched in between, right? The Devil card of Capricorn. I mean, you may be dealing with a Capricorn, but that's not relevant for the purpose of the read. Purpose, not porpoise. Those are cute animals. The Devil is a very honest card, in my opinion. It's just honest about the things we don't like to say out loud, right? The hard thing to say here is that where is it coming from? Am I genuinely pursuing this new opportunity because I believe that it's right for me? Or am I trying to pursue this in the effort of maybe we'll forget the other, right? And this could be, again, I haven't really seen true ideas yet about, emotional intimacy partnerships, but if that does apply to you, hey, if it sticks, it lands. It could be an opportunity in terms of job or pursual, but part of us is just saying, okay, if I go with this other opportunity, the question isn't if I do, the question is where it's coming from. And I think that's what we're trying to grapple with. Yeah, we're saying we're going to deal with it, but how are we approaching dealing with it? That's the question that we have to pose to ourselves right now, Taurus. Moving over to the Ace of Wands. What is relevant upon the Ace of Wands for Taurus in their read? What drives and opens up the human spirit? The fire and energy of what we can do and where we can go. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Taurus in their read. Oh, that's a break. Okay. Huge break. Oh my gosh. Granted, this is a very hard deck to shuffle. It's I'm trying to figure out how to say this without getting flagged. It is a very difficult deck to shuffle because of the composition of the cards, right? They're very tough cards, but at the same time, they make shuffling difficult. And I take that as, you know what, especially when they break repeatedly, not like that, but when they break repeatedly, it often comes to the point of, okay, Coit, stop and say what's on your mind if it keeps on doing this, because it's trying to force you to stop, right? Whatever is trying to force you to stop in the read, you have not said what is necessary. That's why I say if it breaks too much, we will do that. But hopefully, if we get one more, yeah, that is a break. So let's talk about it. Why are we afraid of moving forward? That's a question that I have for the Taurus that's coming here today. What are we afraid of moving forward? We said emotionally, we're going to dive into that. We're going to say we're going to encounter it. We're going to embrace it. Is it really a betrayal towards whatever this external body is, whether that be an opportunity or a person, or is it feeling like a betrayal of the self, right? Once we know where that energy is coming from, we can also direct our efforts towards it, right? Because if you're having such an emotional opening of saying, I'm making the decision to deal with this, Taurus, then there's also the opportunity of everything that could happen. We got to decide what side of the fence we're on, right? I know it may hurt, but right now, staying still, you already told me in your opening, hurts even more. So, which one do we want to choose? So, it's the cards that we need to see, please, upon the Ace of Wands for Taurus in their read. Still coming up on breaks in the cards. We'll do this one more time. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, upon the Ace of Wands for Taurus in their read. What is the truth that we're trying to pursue here? Okay, there we go. I'll take that. To that Ace of Wands. What does it mean to pursue me again outside of this relationship or this relational dynamic? You pulled the Hierophant, the card of Taurus, right? This is your card. This is your power card. This is how you're represented within the deck. The Hierophant, think of that as like a religious leader, pope, etc. Whatever, pastor, priest. There's somebody who does things by the book, who follows their spiritual calling, and doesn't waver much from teaching, right? Kind of like the reputation that Taurus has in a way. That's why there's that direct correlation between your sign and that card. What you're trying to do, you're trying to find you again. That's the biggest part of this entire conflict that's already popping out. I see a Taurus who is trying to find them again outside this dynamic, whatever it was. The thing is, when we engage in the conflict, we're having not necessarily just an identity crisis, but a notion of evolution and expansion, right? And we see it as inauthentic, that devil being sandwiched between possibility and being left behind, because we have to ask the question, how much of ourselves do we lose from doing this? Not the engaging with the pain, but just the process that led to that sharp pain in the first place. Six of Swords, moving forward. There we go. Now I'm seeing action. Okay, and after we do that, after we find ourselves, we know what the answer is. Again, which side of the fence do we want to be on? Five of Cups. We engage with the pain, the sorrow, the remorse, fully head on, right? So I recognize the purpose. It's playing out in your spirit. It's playing out in your emotional opening. Both are saying, okay, let's sit with ourselves. We got to deal with this. How can I find me again? And is this genuine and authentic choice I'm making? Or am I doing this as a way to delay, dull, and numb pain, right? I think when we find ourselves, when we say this is confidently a decision that I'm making, right? In spite of all the pain, I'm finding me and I'm going with what that means to me, then things will play out in the ways that are necessary, Taurus. But we got to ask ourselves, what do we really want? Who are we really looking for? This ideal version of me in regards to this entire dynamic, right? This practice and well proposed version of me, or the truest and somewhat vulnerable version of me? That's what we're looking at right now. And so the Ace of Swords. What do we need to see upon the Ace of Swords for Taurus in their read? What is held upon the Ace of Swords for Taurus in their read? A truth and by extension a challenge. There we go. Eight of Cups. Making the choice to walk away. I'm not going to get left behind. No. When I find me, the conclusion I made, I'm out the door. Chariot, the card of Cancer. This is now part of my journey. All emotions considered, this is how we ride out. Hermit, card of Virgo. We are in Virgo season right now at time of recording. Healing and trusting the wisdom within me to make this right choice and start that journey in the best way possible. So, such a strong opening, but it's very clear. I'm talking to a Taurus here where the newness of possibility, we're trying to deal with the pain that's not coming from an inauthentic place of like choosing based on desperation. And knowing that once we say that this is my choice, right? This is everything that I'm moving forward. This is what I want to deal with. We're now saying, I'm ready to let it go. Underneath it all, Lovers, card of Gemini. Okay, well, first sign of an intimate partner relationship. Here, if this is a lover's path that you're barring yourself from, Taurus, then in finding yourself, you're also realizing, hey, this is what I genuinely want now. And I can't see you as being part of it. That's independence right there. That's a lot of internal debate. And then we finally said, I'm done. I'm done. And, being the reputation of Taurus, Hierophant or Taurus, you know, it does have some of the most stubborn reputation of the entire Zodiac collective, but also the entire deck, alongside the Emperor, and you kind of pulled them both. Those are two people who stand on business; they don't budge. But to say this, that you've done all the debates necessary, and now I can finally let things go, and also notice Capricorn, and the Devil, Hierophant with Taurus, Virgo and Hermit, all the Earth signs are on the board. This is a very solid and tangible thing for you. We're saying, I know what I want now, and I can't see you or this in my journey anymore. I'm letting it go. I may want to grip on or deal with it for X number of reasons. I have to let it go. Cool. Whew. That's probably why so many breaks were happening at the beginning. We're having independence. It doesn't always look like, fairy tales or stories like that. Sometimes it's just saying one foot needs to be put in front of the other. Now, moving towards the Ten of Cups. What about emotional harmonies and synchronizations? What about that for Taurus in their read, first and last month of September? Ooh. Okay. That's fine. Still hasn't hit the board. Can't take. Show the cards that we need to see, please, upon that Ten of Cups for Taurus in their read today. Justice, the card of Libra. Trying to trust the process, that balance will eventually come in the ways necessary. Okay. Ten of Swords. Why do we have that under heart? I got it. Ten of Swords, which we will get to eventually over here, but harmonizing that maybe this is how it should be, right? The pain of endings. I may not like it, but I must accept it, right? It doesn't have to be liked, it has to be learned. Queen of Pentacles, and I got to get comfortable doing it. We ain't budging. We're moving forward. We're moving on. We're trusting that this is what the balance of equity and scales has in store for me. Okay, Ten of Pentacles. What about all the investments and everything that we encounter upon that journey? The home element of Taurus and Earth. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, upon the Ten of Pentacles. To the Ten of Pentacles, we show Devil, card of Capricorn. Yeah, this isn't leaving. So maybe we're probably going to have more clarity on both of these because they both showed up as a direct parallel, both in your opening and this form of an ending, Taurus. But you're trying to, I think, this being able to deal with whatever this was up here, it's actually pivotal as part of a recurring theme of a life journey that you're trying to impact right now. Next, Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I can see it. Again, where do we want life to go now? If we're saying we're going to deal with this, we have to deal with it all the way. And when we deal with it all the way, we realize how it's impacted us all the way back, right? These two go hand in hand. High Priestess, and this we know intuitively, very true, very dear. If we trust our voice, then we have to say, it's been a long time coming, but we gotta knock this out the way. We got to deal with this. There's no way that I'm backing down right now. Got it. Okay. To that Ten of Wands, what of the burdens that we carry? The wands that we carry on our back, what we find worth it to light our pathway in our journey. Show us the cards that we want to see, please. What rests upon the Ten of Wands for Taurus in their journey? Ten of Wands, Ace of Swords. I'm trying to find what truth looks like right now. It's not pretty, it's not easy, but this is the decision I'm making. I'm sticking by it. King of Wands, and this is the right decision. It may suck, right? It may not be the best, funnest thing right now, but I'm sticking to it. I'm not backing down. Four of Swords. Now, okay, cool. Because I was worried. I'm like, dang, this is such strong oppositional energy we have this entire read. Now we see some relaxation coming out. We're finally saying, once I accept this as part of my journey, Taurus, when I say, hey, I'm searching for the truth, I'm trying to find what this means to me, you actually become more relaxed and being able to rejuvenate the self. The Four of Swords is a card of relaxation, a chance to rest and meditate, at least the opportunity to do so. Whether or not you take it, on you. But saying things become lighter as I start to lift them up, right? I don't have to run away from this. In fact, the more that I deal with it, the easier things can become. Cool. I like that for you. And to that Ten of Swords, what are sharp conclusions and endings? What culminations are we seeing underneath the Ten of Swords for Taurus in their read today? What cards do we need to see, please, on that Ten of Swords? First and last, Taurus in September. This deck almost never breaks. Okay. What are we trying to deal with? Let's talk about truths, Taurus. Let's talk about truths. What are we trying to deal with even when it hurts? What are we trying to deal with for Taurus in their reading? There we go. Upon that Ten of Swords. Nine of Swords. Nightmares and anxieties. And this is why I'm saying, okay, cool. This is why I was saying back here when that devil popped up twice, this isn't the first time that this internal debate has happened, is it? Great. Dealing with it right now, not running from our demons, not running from the things that we feel nightmares and scare, basically fear from. Part of us is acknowledging just how much this has impacted us, and if we don't deal with it right now, it could possibly overtake us. Okay, I respect that. Hierophant, card of Taurus, because who am I unless I do this? You pop out again. Here, you're actually being spiritually called this time, right now. We're going to handle our stuff, right? If we're saying we had to deal with this emotional opening, then what was had in the emotional opening of we're going to deal with this heartbreak, this pain, then logically our conclusion is we're going to deal with everything that formed this pattern. I see a Taurus who's ready to do the long work, okay? And the King of Pentacles, the right investment is the painful one. The right investment here is the painful one that says, hey, it may not be pretty, but it is there. Underneath it all, Nine of Wands, the efforts that we put forth, what did they amount to? Yep. At least across the read, in your first and last so far, Taurus, there was such, combative energy that I was seeing throughout. And I'm like, okay, where is this going? Now seeing, yeah, it's a combat because it's unearthing, unearthing for Earth sign, yay, unearthing so much within you, saying, this is not only a sharp pain that I'm holding, which is the catalyst to everything that happened before, right? This is symbolic of a pattern of repetition I've been in before. So in dealing with this, I'm inevitably having to deal with everything that's going to pop out. Cool. I understand it. Show the major arcana strewn across the table for Taurus in the read. Let's look at the Wheel of Fortune first, because that one, it's a very beautiful card to me, at least in this deck. Show the cards that we need to see, please. Upon the major arcana strewn across the table, we are finding deeper and looking now at the Wheel of Fortune for Taurus in their read. Wheel of Fortune defined by Three of Wands, the expectation of the horizon, that things can and will change. Now, how does that happen, right? You've never been more excited to deal with this, right? I know it's not the nicest or funnest thing, but you are enthusiastic about what could be brought forth to the Emperor. Six of Pentacles, making the long term investment. And that's why I said that Three of Swords right there, after things started, pan out in your read, Taurus, that Three of Swords wasn't just a Three of Swords of one situation or one incident. We're saying, okay, if I deal with this, I'm going to deal with all of it. Got it. To the Devil upon the Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups arriving, that harmony under the Devil. And that's why I was saying there was such a debate had at the beginning, because this fear of being left behind. Well, what if this is the best that I got? Right? It left us so afraid of taking possibility that we couldn't listen to the signs of we had to move on anyways. Right? That is a heavy lock-in dynamic of purgatory almost. Right? We're too afraid to move on, but we're also afraid of staying. Right? Which side of the fence are we on? Still raises the same question. To the first Hierophant, Three of Pentacles. And so in finding us, understanding the workable dynamics that we hold, it doesn't have to be a solo journey, right? You can have assistance, or at least compatibility and cooperation along the way, seeking external guidance. But ultimately, you're trying to find yourselves in the value outside of whatever this dynamic was to you. That is what we're questioning. That's what we're moving forward with. To the Chariot, Two of Pentacles. Okay. So we're making things balance out. We do that by the walking away motion of the Eight of Cups. But we're saying, hey, it'll work out eventually. But again, one foot in front of the other. Hierophant underneath the Hermit, because I'm choosing me. How many times did you pull that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Across every deck, you have pulled you. The most you reading that I've seen in a while. You have pulled you. I'm going to choose me. I am choosing me. It's not the funnest thing, but it is the best thing for me. Okay. Next, there was underneath Justice, card Libra. What are the scales? Five of Swords. The notion of sabotage of everything that weighed down the inequity of the scales. No, now we're actually trying to harmonize and deal with it. It's hard to trust that what the universe has in store, isn't it? I know. But in saying that, hey, either I deal with this or I set myself up for another situation like this. That's a conclusion that we're sharply coming to over here. To the next Devil underneath, Seven of Cups. And so the issue of possibility now reigns its head, makes itself available again. But here, that's a possibility based on negativity, right? Well, maybe if I don't deal with it, it could turn out different. You know better. I'm talking to a Taurus who they drew the Devil in their home element twice and Seven of Cups in their home element twice, right? We can't say that we're harmonizing up here with maybe this is the best I got, so we can deal with it later. And then in your ultimatum of everything that we want to build in life, well, maybe we can look at this possibility again. I know that's, kind of a reflex, reaction we're having to this right now, Taurus. And I'm trying to be fair again. I'm not trying to, come at anybody. That's not my purpose as a reader. But we got to say everything else in the board, you can't look at it again, right? You're telling yourself, I'm choosing me above all else. So yeah, I'm entertaining this as a possibility because it's familiar, but ultimately in the framework of my life and what I want to build, I'm trying to convince myself that this is a part of it. You are a part of it, however this applies. But ultimately, if I have to convince myself, then you truly are not there. And to the High Priestess, what do we know internally? Seven of Pentacles. This is the process I have to go to. It ain't pretty. It ain't fun, but it is necessary. For my garden to flourish, I had to deal with the reality of yeah, I may have wanted this to work out, whatever the situation applies to you, Taurus, but at the same exact time, me entertaining the possibility is ultimately not letting me grow. Because it's leaving me in a state of fear where I can't move forward or back or anywhere. It's leaving me stuck in a state of suspension. Okay. And the last one, Hierophant, Eight of Cups. Your spiritual calling is, again, walking away. And I think you pulled the Eight of Cups. Yeah, you pulled the Eight of Cups and the element right on top of that, right? The Eight of Cups, our choice, when we walk away, we can choose ourselves wholly. It's not an easy action, but it is a necessary one. Okay, got it. Resolution. Real cards of resolution for Taurus upon their read. What is held in space of resolution for Taurus upon their read today? First and last month of September. I know this is hard, but right now I have a Taurus who's saying staying still is even harder. We got to make a choice. What is held in the space of resolution for Taurus in their read today? Okay. Five of Pentacles, the fear of being left behind. Okay. Whether that be the actual notion of poverty and disdain. In the original tarot deck, the Five of Pentacles was represented by an adult and a child trapped outside of a building, seeking shelter, seeking solace, seeking refuge. And it's representing of, the notion of poverty, or I'm just being left out, right? Here, this is what we're grappling with right now. All the internal insecurities, that which was left with us when we didn't deal with what was going on internally around making the decision of pain. And Page of Cups, the base level, I can appreciate that. It is a base level communication of happiness. What do we truly want? What will truly fulfill us? Right? Because we open very strong and saying, hey, we're dealing with the pain. And then there's so many, almost impulses to just say, no, we can struggle with this some more. No. At the time right now that I'm seeing this Taurus, you're ready to break the pattern. You're ready to break the cycle. You're ready to break the habit, whatever it is. And part of the conclusion is that just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's right for me. Underneath it all, Ten of Pentacles, what is it in the long term? What are we aiming for? Again, that's why I'm saying the Lovers and the all on the underneath, but sharp distinguishing patterns of being like, just because I wanted, quote unquote, love, and this is for the intimate partner relationship. If I wanted love, or I wanted that life's journey with you, then we're separating. Then I have to understand what love means to me, not just trying to make you fit that mold. If this is for somebody who's trying to separate from a situation, friend group, job, etc., we also got to understand that, like, the building blocks of the rest of our lives, it doesn't stop just because this journey has with them, right? Whatever that situation was. The lessons apply both ways. So all in all, in your journey, in your read today, Taurus, here's what I see. Take a deep breath. We are trying to engage with pain and also trying to engage with our repetitious pattern of going back to it, trying to seek our solace, answers, and our closure, whatever that was for us. And in the conclusion that we only get more pain by reenacting the cycles, we're finally ready to break the pattern and walk away. In knowing this, yes, it's not going to be easy. Yes, we might feel the urge to regress in some ways, but ultimately we know that once we do the heavy and the difficult work, everything else will become easier. So the best notion that I'm seeing in many patterns of repetition across the board, Taurus, we're choosing us by walking away. It's not the notion of this is coming from desperation, this is coming from imitation. It's none of that. It's that I'm finally ready to choose me and put me first. And let's see where it goes. That's what I got in your read today, Taurus. It was a toughie, but I'm really happy for you. If this is what your first and last, then let's open strong. Thank you for coming to the read today, and I hope I helped. See you around, okay?